Hello and welcome to Two Girls in a Pod. I'm Sharon.
I'm Christy. We have a guest with us today. We have had him on before. Robb, the champ, got a fight coming up, MMA fighter. We are so excited to have you back.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for having me back on here. Sure.
You know, we're so excited because you're actually our first guest that we're having a return on come back. And the reason we really like this is because you've had a few fights since we talked last. Some have been successful, some have been a learning experience. What do you think is the biggest difference in, say, the last year or since your last fight for you?
I think the biggest difference between my last MMA fight, which was in October, end of October, was just consistency, being more consistent in the gym, more stability at home between my son and, figuring out his schedule, working with my schedule. Just figuring all that out. As I remember last year, I just had moved back from New Mexico. So it was kind of like a 6 month period of trying to figure everything out. Who's going to be the babysitter? What times I can practice? What times work best for his mom? There's a bunch of little things that you want to have in order to have a successful training camp. Just have successful success in this sport. You got to have stability and be consistent. So just my consistency and stability. It's been a lot better.
Do you find that you're in a better mental place?
Yeah, definitely in a better mental place. Also, I think the last fight, I don't know. I think I kind of definitely a lot better mental place than I was in. Learned a lot. I mean, I lost that last fight basically just because I was out of shape, not because the dude was extremely great or anything like that. I won the first round, he won the second round, third round could have went either way. If I just had a little more in the gas tank, probably could have won the fight. Just learn from that. Don't make that same mistake again. It's time. I'm just getting myself in great shape, amazing shape right now. So definitely.
Now, are you working with the same team since you've been back? Where are you at with that?
I'm a little bit everywhere right now. I work a little bit with Victory MMA, and they got a couple good guys. My boy Carlos Rivera, he's actually fighting on the same fight card. He fought on the same fight card last time, LFA. So me and him, he's one of my good buddies that I train with all the time. Train with him. I train at Merck's Jiu Jitsu. They got a bunch of good guys. My boy Adam V Hill, he's fighting for a world championship in July for Fury FC. So I've been training with him a lot. Yeah, the Merck's guys, Jeremy Kimball and his team. I've been training with them all this whole fight camp. I'm just everywhere. I'm at Kraken. I'm at I still got my same BJJ coach, the Raquel Penton, same coach. We have the same coach. Yeah, just train with all them and train with them consistently instead of training with them for I used to train with them for like a week or two and then I'd go somewhere else for another month or so and trained. This time I went to Vegas first. I went to Vegas. My last fight, I spent my last 3 weeks of camp in Vegas and then came back here fight week. This time I spent my first 2.5 weeks out in Vegas and then I came back here and did my whole camp out here just so I could have that cardio and have that elevation training the whole time.
So when you say you train in Vegas, where is that at?
It's Extreme Couture.
Okay.
My boy Patchy Mix, he's the Bellator world champion. So I go out there, stay with him. His wife or fiance, he just proposed to her. She's a Tatiana Suarez. You know Tatiana Suarez?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, that's his fiance. So I go over there, stay at their house.
Oh, awesome.
And it's just around that energy. Go to the UFC PI Center. Just around world champions every day when I go to Vegas and come back out here with that same mentality of world champion of knowing that's the next step. The next step is to hopefully after this fight, I get on the contender shoot and I can go down to Vegas and train for like a month, just straight out there and for a month around everyone at the PI Center and just getting better and better, but I train around world champions. So
that's kind of nice when you're able to see those people and work with those people who have had that work ethic or not even that, just been in this business for a long time, continue to train. And you can kind of learn from there, because they probably do the same thing, maybe don't have the cardio, or it seems a lot of times when we listen to the post-fight interviews, a lot of times they'll say about mentally, I wasn't there mentally, or, I disengaged or whatever that is. How do you stay mentally prepared for this? Because it's
a roller coaster, right? It's like a roller coaster of emotions. I was explaining to somebody the other day, even when I run, I'll run and I'll get real emotional while running. I don't know, I get really emotional while I'm running. And it's just that thinking of, what are you doing this for? Who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Trying to stay engaged and knowing what you're doing it for. It's not for nothing, like there's gold at the end of this rainbow. If you just keep working, you keep pushing, you keep pursuing what you're pursuing, good things will happen. If you don't cheat the grind, if you respect the grind. It's hard to stay mentally focused. Anything can happen. For this camp, right? My car broke down. So then I'm without a car for a week. It's hard to get to and from training, especially because I'm training from this spot to this spot. I go from cracking BJJ, drive up to Merck's, go back down south, going to all these different gyms without a card. You know, I'm mentally stressed out. Like, damn, I need to get there. How am I going to get there? And luckily, I have sponsors, great people. I have one of my sponsors. She's like, hey, I got an extra card just sitting here if you want to borrow it. So that's what I'm driving right now. One of my sponsors' cars. I'm just blessed to have good people around me, blessed to have that support.
Well, shout out to that sponsor there.
Yeah.
Shout out Marina Aragon and the Aragon family. They'll be at the fight. They got table seats. See you guys 2 weeks.
Nice.
Awesome. You know what? And it's kind of hard because, you know, what people may not know is that when you're not a professional, then you really have to have sponsors. So talk about that process for you, because it has to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because you never know, right? You never know what kind of sponsor you can get, how many sponsors you're going to get. You know, you really got to put yourself out there and ask, you know, what's the worst somebody can say? Like when I first started this, what's the worst somebody can say is no. So if I ask 100 people, if I send 100 people this sponsorship paperwork and only 2 say yes, at least 2 said yes instead of, not even giving it to anybody. And your chances of getting a sponsorship are zero if you don't try. So I think just being able to put yourself out there and express yourself and like show people what you bring to the table as a fighter, just as a person. Usually a lot of my sponsorships are from people I know personally on a personal level because they got to know me or they see my journey or they see what I do every day, day in and day out. So yeah, I think it's just taking that risk. That's for like a lot of young fighters that you want to pursue this career. Like not everyone's going to support you at the beginning. Not everyone's going to believe you at the beginning. Not everyone's going to think you can do it, think you have what it takes until you start winning, start turning people's heads. But knocking people out, doing whatever you have to do to make people believers. And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing in this fight camp is I believe in myself more than anybody. Instead of me wanting and wishing, I hope this guy believes in me. I hope that person believes in me. I don't give a shit this time around. I believe in myself. I put in the work. That's all I need to know. As long as I believe in myself, everything else, everyone else will start to believe when I win. When I win. Or just even if I don't win, if I go out there and leave my all out there, and it's a nasty bloody war, and I'm satisfied. Like, hey, it was a damn good fight, and I'm satisfied with that. But I can't be satisfied if I lose a fight because I get too tired, and that gets me pissed off. That makes you think, okay, now nobody's gonna believe in you if you get too tired. What are you doing? Why are you getting tired? Are you training that hard? A lot of these different questions come up. So I think it's just self-belief. You gotta have that self-belief in this sport for sure.
How do you deal with that? I know there's a lot of trash talk and stuff too with this because your opponents, they know what a head game it is. And how do you deal with that part?
Luckily for me, I haven't had a lot of people trash talk.
Good.
One of my amateur fights, he's my teammate now, not my teammate anymore, but he's one of my good buddies and teammates out in New Mexico. A dude named Jester Foy. He's the only person who ever really talked trash. I got in my face and like telling me all this stuff, like talking, but that just fueled the fire. So I mean, I hope this guy in fight next says a little something to me. I don't mind. That's like it makes it better for me. If you say something to me, I'm like, I just get more fired up. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get locked in this cage with each other. So I mean, you can say whatever you want to say.
Inspire me.
Yeah, exactly. The cage door's gonna get locked, and you're gonna have to handle me. And when I get in there, I'll start talking my shit. I don't really talk shit. I'm not the type of guy who's gonna sit there and get in your face and talk shit. I just like Mike Tyson stare people, like, looking them in the eyes and trying to touch their soul while looking at them and stuff like that. I don't say much because it's like, well, what can I say? We're gonna get locked in the cage and then we can talk. And that's usually when I do my talking. Like I remember my pro debut, the dude's family, everyone they were talking. So I just beat the dude's brother before I fought this dude for my pro debut. He was talking trash. They were talking trash, and I didn't say anything. I was like, all right. And then we got in the ring and started whooping his ass, and that's when I started talking my shit. Like, all right, now look where you're at. Because now what can you do? It's like you got this fist in your face. Talk all you want to. I'm gonna just keep punching in your mouth every time you say something. So it's like, yeah, but I really haven't had many opponents talk trash. Even my last opponent, respectful. We were in the sauna cutting weight together the day before the fight. His coaches were respectful. So depends, I guess, on the fighter and the person. And
that is one of the things that we've, when people find out that we love MMA, UFC and that, because we like MMA because we like Bellator and all that, but we follow UFC and that. But I think one of the things people don't understand is one of the things we really love about it is that when it's done, the respect that is shown between these fighters and their teams, because I think all of you know what goes into this. And the trash talk ends when you get in there and you're doing your job. And then when the job is done, that respect that is shown. And that was something that you really talked about a lot.
Yeah, I love that part of it. Just you see that respect among those athletes.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? After, all this trash talk going into it, all this and that, but then after it's like, okay, damn, all right, I went to war with this dude. I respect him. He stood toe to toe with me. Okay, I can respect that. And that is the most beautiful thing about this sport. I don't know if you guys seen those fights the other weekend. My buddy from that's trained at Extreme Couture was cornering It was Jocelyn Edwards versus, damn, I forget this other girl's name, some Mexican chick.
Oh, yeah.
But they got into a fight at the UFC PI, I guess. They ran into each other at the PI, got into an altercation. Everyone was talking about pressing charges and stuff. They're like, fuck that. They booked the fight. They booked the fight and fought each other. And after the fight, they were still talking trash before the fight, right? And after the fight, they showed mad respect, squashed their beef. Their teams came together and said, hey, it's all good. Name of fighting, blah, blah, blah. Because they're going to see each other again, right? You work at the UFC, you work for the same company. You're going to pass your opponent all the time, especially at the UFC center. You're going to pass them. So.
Well, and I think that was really kind of interesting because I know the commentators were even there like, okay, now what's going to happen, you know, because they just had a dislike for each other. And I think that happens. There are times that personalities aren't going to click or whatever, and it becomes personal or for whatever reason. And and I think the commentators at the end were just like, oh crap, what's going to happen now? Is this going to just continue? And no, the one went to the other one and it was, okay, it's done, you know.
It usually doesn't, right? Usually you get in the fight, besides what the McGregor Habib fight, right?
That was a little crazy.
That got ugly after. I think that's just more so. I think that fight in particular was more so not just Conor and Habib fighting each other. It was Conor's team and them trash talking and Habib's team trying to defend Habib and his honor. It was more of them trying to fight each other more than it was Conor McGregor trying to fight. You know, he lost the fight. He's sitting there chilling like, damn, okay, you can understand. Okay, I can only talk so much trash to do. Then when you get hit by random people, and then it just makes a whole big old debacle after that. So it's like, it depends on if you could, like, even if you could calm your team down, right? Like, because you know, I got some crazy fans. I got some crazy people on my squad. Like, that'd be a night if we go up to this fight here on the 22nd, and then we got this guy's fans talking trash after the fight to my fans. That'd be a fun night for them.
Well, and I think that's what it is. You know, I think the whole thing is as you go and I think the respect you show, for me, the way you show the respect for those fighters is when it's done and they've been out there and they've done it. There's no need to trash talk anymore. They handled it. They've done what they were supposed to do with it. You know what I mean? But I think that people, it can get crazy.
Get crazy.
That's why we love it. No. We are so excited. We'll be there for your fight.
Good night.
What do you think is the thing that in the past has been your thing that has gotten in your way to your success? Because you've got the skill set.
Like I said, just being able to be consistent. Like even when I was in New Mexico, right? Like I had to come back here because I was consistent, but I was also going to war. I was trained 5-6 hours a day, doing my thing, 2-3 training sessions. I'd go home, I'd be at war at home. Because my lady didn't want to, you know, baby mama drama, all that extra stuff. You can't have that. You know, everyone's going to have it. Everyone's going to have their different battles. Maybe they're fighting with their wives, or they're fighting with their mom, or they're fighting with their family, or, you know, friends. You got all these different personalities in your life that you're trying to make everyone understand. Hey, I'm on a mission. I can't get distracted. I can't get too far from what I'm doing. I can't put my energy into other people, but all my energy is going into training. All my energy. So when I get done training, I want to come back home and I want to relax. I want to hang out with my son, have a good time with my son, and just focus on being a dad. Not focus on being a fighter anymore. I want to let that part of me go when I get back home. I think that was the hardest thing, was just trying to stay away from using my energy on things I shouldn't have been using my energy on, right? I shouldn't have been using my energy to argue or using my energy to fight or prove a point. I should just let things go and just focus on what I need to focus on. And that's what I've been able to do since being back here. I can just let go of things. If I do end up into an argument with someone, I can understand, okay, you're not going to work my energy. Let me move on from this argument and go that.
So what was that process for you? How did you get to that place of that realization, say, of I need to do something different? And
it was just understanding that I couldn't keep going on, just faking the funk like I was faking. Like, okay, I wasn't happy. I was mentally drained. I was just drained every day. Just drained from dealing with things at home, dealing with things at the gym. It was just draining. Even at the gym I was at, the gym was a good gym. I love my teammates, but just the way that they ran that gym was just not like a world-class gym that I wanted to be a part of. Extreme Couture, it's a beautiful gym. I love that gym. The way they handle themselves, the way they carry that gym, it's a great place to train at. And there's a lot of gyms here that I train at pound for pound. They got like a good energy in it. But I felt that the gym I was at in New Mexico just started having a bunch of ego trips in there for no reason. Like, we're all on the same mission. It wasn't so much the athletes, it was more the coaches. The coaches were trying to make people decide whose team they were going to be on. It's like I thought we're all under one family, all under one banner type of deal. But now everyone had to make their choices. Okay, do this, do that. It just got really ugly towards the end. So a lot of the good fighters just left the gym. So it's like,
And I don't think it's uncommon to see fighters do that. I know, one of the things Amanda Nunes talked about was she had a really good team there in Florida. There was no animosity or anything, but it was just like she said, she just wanted to have her own private gym. She wanted partly to be able to do the family, but also to do it her way. So she did that and came back her last fight and of course dominated. And sometimes maybe that's where you have to do to be in that mental place. And it sounds like that for you, I had to believe that because it wasn't meeting the needs that you had at that moment.
Yeah, and I think even before I moved to Mexico, I was so successful because I had my own coach, I had my own gym. I still have my own coach, and I don't have my own gym anymore, but we had our own thing, and we were going against Jackson Wink, the gym I ended up going to. We were going against all these top gyms, the elevations, all the top gyms we were going against. We're training out of a little garage. We're training out of a gym, same place, same size as the studio right now. It wasn't that big, but we were grinding. We were grinding hard. We trained every day. We respected the grind. And that little focus, we focused on all the little things, defense, the turn the jabs over, just a lot of little things that you can focus on in a small gym compared to being in a huge gym with a bunch of fighters where everyone wants the attention. It's like, but sometimes you have that personal attention, you have that the person you can go a lot further than if you're just a fly on the wall, right? You're just sitting there going through the motions, getting your rounds in, but there's no one to tell you, okay, hey, you need to do this on this round. We recorded you, we showed you what you're doing wrong here. Do this next round. People coach you up there. I was just like training.
How do you do with that critiquing?
It just depends on the day. Depends if I'm in the mood to hear it.
Well, how do you get in that place to listen to that critiquing when you're not there? Because it is important. I mean, that's why you have coaches, When we talked with Raquel, that's what she said. She said sometimes it's she not listening to the coach or whatever, but
yeah, I think it just depends. Like I said, it depends on the day. Some days I'm all there. I'm not I'm very, very, very coachable. And some days I just don't want to hear a damn word my coach says. I'm like, wow, I can't even hear you. So and I think sometimes in the ring, right? We'll work on being able to that minute between those rounds. Listen, maybe first 30 seconds are recovering. All right, here's the next 30 seconds. Listen to your coach. You got to work on those things. Work on being able to control your breathing. Work on being able to, even during the fight, learning how to listen to your coach during the whole fight. Like all my fights, I turn my opponent, I turn him straight to my corner. We ever touch hands or whatever, I turn, and I walk straight back to my corner. So my corner, so I don't have to hear my corner screaming. I'm hearing my corner right there. And my corner to say whatever he wants to say to you, right here. So it just comes with time. It comes with time and comes with the intelligence to be able to hear your coaches, to be able to listen to your coaches, to be able to take what they're saying. Don't just one ear out the other, but take what they're saying serious because they're seeing things that you're not seeing. Make sure you listen to them. Make sure you have coaches that have your best interest, right? You don't want to have a coach that just wants you to be the tough guy, be as badass. You want your coach that wants to keep you safe. Wants your coach that wants you to win all the time. Wants your coach that wants to watch you make money so you can all make money, right? We can all eat. If you get me to that next level, then my coaches get to eat. Everyone gets to eat if we all come together and work on the same page. It's hard when you're trying to we got one coach wants this, another coach that wants this, another coach that I try to just get all my coaches on the same page. Everyone knows what we're going to do. I send them all what we're going to do during the fight camp. I send them what we're going to do during the fight. I just tell them my corners what we're going to do that day of weigh-ins, that day of the fight. This is what the specific things I need you to tell me to do. Tell me this, tell me that to keep me mentally there, right? So I got my little brother in my corner. I was telling him, bro, you got to let me know the whole day that I'm a badass motherfucker. I'm the fucking king. I'm the champ. And that's what I got running through my head the whole day. Boom, boom. Yeah, and I'm ready to go. So it's that I think it just depends on your coaches, depends on your style.
Well, definitely. And obviously they have valuable information. They're doing the best to help you execute your game plan to the fullest.
So when you're talking about coaches, for people who don't understand that, what kind of coaches do you have in your corner?
And I think that just depends on what type of fighter you are. So for me, I got my BJJ coach, Tyler Larson. He's my jiu-jitsu coach. And usually I have my boy Jeff Martinez. I don't know if I have him this fight, but he's like an MMA guy. He knows everything. He knows kickboxing, he knows Muay Thai, he knows wrestling, he watches a shit ton of MMA, a shit ton of UFC, Bellator, just really intelligent about the game of MMA. And then I have my mental support, my brother. So I need, I like these three different, I need somebody for my BJJ, somebody for my striking and sees the openings for the striking and all that. And then my mental, for my brother, just to keep me there, So I think it just depends on the fighter. Because some fighters will have, maybe they have their kickboxing coach, a BJJ coach, a wrestling coach. For me, it's like I need just one BJJ coach, one person there mentally, and then another person there. Tell me about some striking. Tell me about some some openings you see, keep me calm in there. So I think it just depends on the fighter. Every fighter different. Every fighter has a different, every fighter has a different approach to the coaches they like. For a while, I had a Muay Thai coach in my corner. My boy Alex, he's actually John Jones' striking coach. Great coach, but he didn't know too much. He didn't know wrestling. He didn't know BJJ. So I said, if I only had him in the corner and I end up fighting a grappler, if I only have him, then what's going to happen when I'm on my back? And what's going to say, shoot a triangle, dude? Like, there's no triangles. And if I'm not gonna pay attention to what he's saying as much as I've listened to my coach Tyler, who's a black belt in BJJ, world champion coach. I listen to that over a Muay Thai coach. It usually just depends on the fight, depends on the fighter, for sure.
You were talking about this earlier when we were talking about, and you said about, because for people, MMA, it's not just boxing, it's wrestling, it's all of the Muay Thai, it's just a whole bunch of different stuff in there. What do you prefer? Just getting
Do
to
I
beat them
prefer?
up.
Yeah, I just prefer knocking them the fuck out. I prefer, that's usually what I tell you to do. Like, what do you prefer? I just knock them the fuck out. But I prefer, I don't know. I like to mix it up now. I used to be really heavy when I first started as an amateur. I would just go and try and knock your head off. Just go boss the wall. If you can handle my craziness, cool. You can handle my, but not a lot. I had 2 decisions as an amateur. The rest were finishes. Yeah, I had 1 decision win and 1 decision loss. The rest were all finishes. Because I just go out there, boss the wall. If you can handle it, but a lot of people can handle it. A lot of people can handle it. But now as a pro, you got to, okay, if they can handle it, if you can handle that crazy onslaught, now I got to be able to pace myself for the next 10 minutes. Maybe you can handle that first round and be going crazy on you. So now I got to pace myself better for those last 10 minutes. So, I don't know. It just depends on the fight. Depends on the person. I love to wrestle. Wrestling's my background. I grew up wrestling. And I got a beautiful series I do now. I've started to teach other people this like half Nelson series I do on everyone. With mixes with BJJ, it just depends on the day. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu over the last few years. I definitely love grappling. I grapple more now than I grappled to the beginning of my career for sure. I grappled Monday, Tuesday, not Wednesday. I grapple Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm grappling 4 days, or sometimes even Saturday or Sunday, depending if they have like open mats. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on the day, depends on the fight. And after I lost my amateur fight to a Muay Thai fighter, I started doing a lot of Muay Thai. So a lot of people think now, like even like through sparring training, they'll be like, "Hey man, you train a lot of Muay Thai, huh?" I don't really train a lot of Muay Thai like that, but I learned so much of it. I submerged myself into Muay Thai for a few years just to learn all the basics, learn how to protect myself, and learn how to give a little back to people now. So it just depends on who I'm fighting.
Okay.
That makes sense.
There's so much that goes into it. I mean, even as we're sitting here talking, and we've been big MMA supporters for such a long time, but when you start and you see the evolution of it, you can't go in there and be one-dimensional anymore. Oh gosh, no. And you see that, you'll see those fighters that go in one-dimensional. We watched Gracie's when he fought last, and it just doesn't work anymore. You got to change it up. It's kind of like each time you learn something, you got to learn something new, and you got to learn something new, Do you like that learning process, or do you like to do what you do?
I like the learning process, but I also like to perfect the things I'm already good at, right? So everything I got probably like 4 or 5 moves that I just like. I know how to jiu-jitsu, for example. So I know the triangle, I know the arm bar, I know all these different moves they have. But you're never going to see me do an arm bar in a fight. You're never going to see me throwing a triangle in a fight. What you will see me do is do a rear naked choke, the thing that I practice and trying to perfect over and over and over. I'll do that. You will see me do a guillotine because I'm trying to perfect that over and over and over again. Now, if we go through like training, I'll practice my arm bars, I'll practice my triangles with my teammates and all that stuff, but I will never do that in a fight. So I train when I'm grappling. I'm constantly working my guillotines, constantly working my rear naked chokes, just trying to perfect these few moves to where I'm the best at that move. I'm the best at a rear naked choke. I'm the best at a guillotine. Or my right hand's unstoppable. My right leg kick's unstoppable. Trying to find these things that I'm already good at and make them great instead of trying to learn a million different things. You're aware of these million different things, but there's no reason to learn a million things, right? Let's get good at 5, 6 things and get great at these things, and then be good at everything else, but make sure we're great at these certain things. So if we're getting that situation, we can dominate in that situation.
Right.
And just so you know, he's not saying that if the armbar did not present itself, that he's not going to put it on you.
I'll throw it up there.
Well, and I think that's actually a really good way of putting it, because in every career people have, there's so many variations and degrees and all sorts of crap to it. But really honing in on what you feel is your strengths. And the more you practice your strengths, those things that are the weakness are they're gonna show up anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. So for you, what do you think this is a total, what do you think is your greatest weakness when you're doing this?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weakness. Maybe
Got all the bases covered.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The reason I always ask, I think that's a great question, is because people often go to just okay, I'm good at the guillotine. Yeah, these are the things I'm ready. But I think what I've noticed when I watch any sport, because I love observing people, is I will see that shift in them and it becomes mental. It's never their skill set. It's like I never see their skill set be their problem.
Mm.
It becomes something mental, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's what when they say, oh, he just broke him. He just broke the fighter. You can see it in their eyes. You can see that mental shift. Oh, he's broken. How's he gonna get killed the rest of this fight? If you break somebody, that's our goal. That's my goal every time. I try to break this dude, try and break his will, try and like destroy him by all means. But I think fighters get broken, and that's the thing. You don't want to be that guy that's out there broken. You don't want to be out there not swinging to the last bell. You know what I mean? So
Well, I think, and you see that in several fights, it's like somebody who's really a grappler and then they can't get a takedown and they can't get a takedown.
yeah, that'll change the game a lot, right? Especially if you're like a good wrestler. So you're a D1 All-American. You got some guy who's also D1 All-American, but also knows how to box too. So then she stuffs your takedown, like, he stuffs your takedown again. Using all his energy to get this takedown. Stuffs it again. Now what? Now where are you gonna go? You can't strike. You can't, throw 1-2. What are you gonna do from there? So I think that's the biggest thing about the sport. Like guys are saying, the evolution of it. You got to be on top of your game. You got to be on top of everything. You got to be able to strike. You got to be able to wrestle. You got to be able to do jiu-jitsu. You got to be able to kickbox. You got to be able to work the clinch. It's everything. You got to be able to do everything nowadays compared to, like you said before, you could be good at one or two things and get away with it. You can't get away with any of that anymore. You got to be good at everything.
There's a lot of this controversy around the judging. And they say the only way that you get around that is you submit them or you knock them out.
Don't leave it in the judge's hands. That's what they tell you. Before the fight, they bring you back into the room. Like if everyone fights, the referees and the commission, they bring you back and they tell you all the rules and stuff. They give you all the rules. Anybody has questions, they get to ask questions. But that's a big thing they tell you in the commission, that, hey, there's going to be some shitty calls. We don't know what the judges are going to call, because the judges aren't back there listening to these conversations. The judges, we don't know. We have no idea who the judges are until you see the judges sitting down at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, what they tell you is, hey, if you don't want a problem, if you don't want to have to talk to us after, don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Which when you get to a certain level, right? UFC, we see some weekends you may have 9 finishes out of 12 fights. Some weekends you might have 12 decisions, right? So it's like, it just depends on the day, depends on the level of fight.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of controversial judging.
I think they should do, right? Like judges should be at least people who fought before. You have to have some type of knowledge. You can't just be on the box commission because you're on the box commission. That's what it is. It's that every state has a different commission, right? So everywhere you go, there's different judges, different commission. It's not like like the UFC has 3 judges that they bring with them, and they're the same people who judge all these fights. No, every commission has a different judge. They're all their own judges type deal. So it's like, I think they just have to get to the point where instead of them just thinking, okay, this is a good judge, how's it a good judge? What kind of person is judging these fights? Is it somebody who's fought before? Has this person wrestled before? Has this person boxed before? Or is it just some lady who worked at Walmart for the last 20 years? You know what I mean? Like who are we having judge fights? I think that's the big thing the whole committee has to talk about, especially in the UFC fights, because that's a lot of money you're losing, right? If you get a shitty judge and you end up split decision, or you end up having a draw, or you end up losing this fight, when you're going home with half your money, and you feel robbed like that. You feel robbed if somebody's judge takes it away from you. Like you didn't lose. I'd rather get knocked out. I'd rather get submitted than lose a close fight. I know I won in my heart. Like, I won the Tisha Torres fight, for example.
Oh my goodness!
Looks like she won that fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my goodness! That was such a confusing.
Yeah.
So Tisha Torres is also Tisha Pennington. So yeah, she made her debut, and I was so blown away when they gave the decision. I was like, what?
Everyone's like, what?
That's what I mean. It's like, what fights are we watching? And I think it gets complicated because sometimes people say, "Oh, get the takedown," and then we see these guys take the takedown, and then they're just there.
You want to do anything with it? Yeah.
But yet they're getting points for a takedown they're not doing. And so do they have to go back and revamp the whole thing because it doesn't make any sense?
And I think that's just like the judges, right? Maybe that judge who's seen the takedown, he's an ex-wrestler. Maybe he wrestled before, so he's like, "Oh, that's a takedown. I consider that points." But then you got this Muay Thai coach or this Muay Thai trainer who's a judge, and they're like, "Well, actually, that takedown, he didn't do anything with it, so I'm gonna score the round for the other guy who got up off the takedown and punched him a few more times than he punched in."
I don't understand. I think that there should be points, man, for getting up out of those things. They say the takedown to me is almost easier than trying to get back up.
Yeah,
because-
getting them is hard, especially if you have a good if there's someone good on top of you, man. it's a
Exactly.
pain in the ass. I've trained with some really good my boy Patrick, for example. He gets everyone's back. He took John Jones's back, he takes everyone's back. He's like cold as just get on everyone's back. It's impossible. It's way harder to really get up from him than it is for me to get up from a lot of people. Usually I can get up from anybody. It's like there's certain guys out there, man, if they get on you, they're a pain in the ass to get off you. And then once you finally get up, you're like, "Oh man, I'm tired now." And you gotta sit there. Here we go again. So
And 100 pounds lighter.
yeah. I guess it just depends on the person that's on top of you. Because some people take you down. It's so easy to get up right there and really know wrestling. You maybe got a good takedown, but they have no type of top control. They don't know how to control you on top.
Yeah.
It just depends on who's you're going against, who's on top of you.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that. And I guess that's the thing. That to me would be even more heartbreaking to know you went out there and you really won, and then even saying, "Well, maybe I'm in the fight and I don't really see it. Maybe there's something I didn't see, but go back and watch the footage and you're there like, oh my God, what just happened?"
There's no way I lost.
Yeah, that I think would be hard to bounce back from. And I think that would be even harder because then it's not only are you fighting the opponent, but you're fighting the judges all at once.
Yeah, so, I mean, we say don't even ask the judges. You never know. You never know what they'll do or what way they're scoring the fight, what they're seeing, or what they're actually scoring these days, right? You don't know what they're actually scoring. Are you scoring this takedown saying I'm winning because I'm taking you down, or are you saying I didn't do anything with that takedown, I didn't give any points for the takedown? We don't know who's judging, what's going on with a lot of these controversial things. But something has to be done because, like I said, at my level where I'm at, it's still bad, right? It's still huge for me because if I lose another fight, I'm another 2 years away from the UFC. It's like I'm on the ball right now. I got to make sure I win all these fights. But I'm not losing. I'm only fighting for X amount of money, right? These people for the UFC or for Bellator, or maybe they're fighting for $100,000 to fight, $100,000 to show, $100,000 to win, and you end up using this close decision when you won. You lost $100K, and that's a lot of damn money to lose compared to if you just would have won the fight. Because if you're just knocking out, you would have got your money now. That's a messed up situation to be in that situation where why should I lose my money because the judges can't get it right? That's maybe that's something they should do. Like when Dana White's like, "There's no way this guy lost his fight." So if you're saying there's no way that guy lost his fight, how about you give him his win bonus too? Since you think he won the fight, let's think of it that way. If we think these people actually won the fight, let's not take away from them. If we thought they won too, especially as the owner of the UFC, right? If you think that this person lost that fight too, why don't you just give him his win money too? And they both could. Everyone could be happy.
It seems like there has to be something, especially when you're in these kind of things where this is your livelihood, and you're right. If you lose that decision that was yours, that's taking food from you, your family and stuff. And that makes it really, really hard.
That could be a huge step back, right? Maybe you're on your way to a world championship, you win this next fight, you're going to fight for a world championship, really change your life. And then you end up losing a close decision, but you thought you won, you clearly won, everyone thinks you won, the crowd's booing because they gave the decision to the wrong person. And you're like, oh, well, now you're another 2 years away from a championship.
And, I get those fights that are super close because it really can go either way. So, and people who are, it's like, they're so close, they're so evenly matched. They went out and, just maybe one thing resonated with the judge or the other, but it's still so close to call. But when you have those that are totally lopsided, that's a whole different thing. Then there's reason to boo because that is just not okay.
I had some call the other day. I think it was two weeks ago Friday. But they gave someone 30-27, and then the other one, then it was 30-27 for the other person, 30-27 for the other person. And they're like, that doesn't make sense. How's one judge scored this fight 27-30 for this dude, and the other two having 30-27, 30-27? That doesn't make any sense. That's something. You can give her 29-28, but if you're getting some guy at 27-30, and then the other two judges are giving this guy 30-27, 30-27, that doesn't make any sense at all. What are you watching that these other two guys who got the scorecard right on seeing that you gave the fight to the other dude. Like, what are you judging there?
And I don't know if it one of those things where that judge is thinking, how are you giving him a 30-27 when it should be, you made it too lopsided. I wonder if that goes on there too. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. That would be an interesting thing, the mentality of the judges. I don't get it because sometimes I'm just there like,
And that's another thing they talked about live scoring, right? So after every round, the judges throw their score in so that all the fans can see it too. All the fans can see what they scored this round. So it doesn't make it so at the end, like, oh my God, no way that happened. Oh, you've seen the live score, so you know.
what do you think that would do for you as the person competing? If you knew those live scores at the end of each round, your coach is down you.
Make you fight better, right? Shit, if you know you're down, you know for sure you're down compared to like sometimes you have coaches that'll tell their fighter, you're up right now. You just got to coast this third round. You just don't get knocked out the third round. So you're just coasting this third round, but really you're not even up. Really, it's tied 1-1. You really need to win this third round. You need to fight your ass off the third round to make sure you win this fight. But instead of you fighting, your coach has told you, nah, you're up. Imagine if your coach knew, hey, you're not up. You lost that first round, you won the second round, now you have to win the third round. That's going to make your whole mentality change going into that third round if you knew exactly what you need to do to win the fight.
Well, that doesn't work. And we saw that with the Usman fight.
Yeah, now he was up, huh? That goes too long, didn't you?
That was one of those you could sit, and I told her, I said, something shifted.
Something shifted.
But it's that mental piece, here's this guy that had beat him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When Usman it was this mentality, you saw it with Adesanya and Pereira as well.
Yeah.
You go in there, well, you've lost it. And you have the media, you've lost to him twice. And it's not like you're going to win this. No, it messes with you mentally.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Especially if you're knocked out, right? I've never been knocked out. Like all of us.
And that will not be happening on the 22nd.
Not at all. Hell no. But you can only imagine, right? Like if you get knocked out by someone twice, with bigger gloves too. You get knocked out with bigger gloves, and you gotta go fight in these little 4-ounce gloves. You get slept by him again. then you're like, damn, okay, but I still want to fight him. I know I can beat this guy. And you go and beat him. All right, hell yeah, okay, we'll give you that. But it's like, what mental loops did he have to go through to be like, I'm gonna go stand toe to toe with this scary ass Amazonian looking Brazilian dude and go crazy and get after it against him. So it's like, and yeah, that's got to be a big mental loop to get over when especially like you said, the media is asking you, hey, people are in your DMs, people are messaging, commenting on everything. Hey, you suck. You're getting knocked out again, and just saying a bunch of nonsense to you. It's like, nah, I know what's gonna happen. I've trained my ass off for this fight. I know what's gonna happen when I get in there. I know how to beat this guy.
Well, I think it has to become a place where at some point you train your brain to shut down those kind of things. But a majority of people, it's not something that you ever work on and you train, people are constantly listening to that negativity. And now, people you can have people you don't even know be negative.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you how much you suck. I always find that interesting because when I go back and read the comments and they'll say, oh man, this person sucked or whatever. And I was reading that, after Raquel won and people they're like, and they're like, I'm sorry, I do not know your name from UFC. You're not on Bellator. Who are you and why are you talking trash? You know what I mean? I think when you're those, they call them the armchair quarterback. It's always easy to do it when you're not the one in there because you're not seeing the same things. But man, people will just dog on people. I'm just like, what are y'all talking about?
I'm brave nowadays too. I'm brave. I'll say some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say even my boy Patrick just won his last fight against the Russian dude. It was the second time fighting him. That was a close fight. He won the fight, but there's all these Russians on his post like, you suck. You should have never won that fight. You're trash. Like, well, he won the fight. So I mean, what you're saying really doesn't, it really can affect him, right? But it's still meant for you. You're still like, fuck this guy. Why is he talking all this shit? What's his name? You look it up. Oh, it's like some bots and some egg talking trash to me. He has 3 followers and follows 1,000 people. It's like, it doesn't really, you got to look at it like that. Like, who's this guy talking to nobody and he hasn't done anything in his life compared to what I'm doing in mine. So like,
now, do you go back and look at comments after you fight?
No. Oh yeah, I never see anything. I don't pay attention to the comments. And when anybody says,
It's probably a good practice.
yeah, like if anybody, usually I might have fun every now and again. Like somebody messaging me something stupid, I'll message them back and fuck with them a little bit and talk or trash right to them. Who are you? You suck. I don't know. I'll say something stupid to him. I mean, really, people really don't talk much trash to me. I don't know. It's a little crazier than everyone else. I don't know what it is. People really don't really talk much trash. So
But think of it, because you're gonna be in the UFC,
Mhm.
so I imagine that's gonna change a little.
yeah, definitely. It'll probably change a little bit, but I mean, even then, it's like, what can you say that can hurt me, right? It's like, you can come see me, say it to my face. When you see me, come see me, and I'll be.
So
So you do have the coming up on June 22nd in Denver. Where's it going to be held?
Is that Magnus Arena, the D University, Denver University?
Okay.
Yeah, gonna be there at the arena.
And when you win, what does that mean for you?
Hopefully, it's contender series shot. Hopefully, I win this fight, and then like I said, I signed my management. I'm with Sucker Punch Entertainment. My management company, same management company as Jamal Hill, Rose Namajunas. I got a big UFC roster of people, UFC Bellator fighters. So hopefully, I win this fight, dominant fashion. We get on the contender series this summer, July, August, September, whatever. Get us a fight. I've been seeing them releasing names recently. They've been releasing names for their upcoming season. So hopefully, we get on that. And the rest is history. By September, I'm in the UFC and fighting for some good money and changing my life. So yeah, man, just gotta just stay on the ball, win this fight, make sure we win this fight, make sure, dominant fashion, dominate this dude. And yeah, the future probably 7-3 after that. And then yeah, definitely contender series for sure.
real quickly, who is it that you have looked up to and kind of you view as those epitome, they've reached that?
My boy Patchy, for sure. I started with him. So me and my boy Pat, we started on the amateur circuit together. So I did this amateur tournament, my only amateur loss, and he ended up winning the tournament. But when we first started the tournament, I'm looking at the bracket. I was like, he was on the top side for the East Coast. I was on the top side for the West Coast. I'm like, hell yeah, that's how I'm going to fight in the finals. So I'm looking this dude up, like, okay, it's Patchy mixed kid, okay, all right, sweet. So then I ended up losing the tournament. He ends up winning the shit. Flash forward 2 years later, I'm in New Mexico. He's in New Mexico. We training at the same gym in Jackson Wink. End up being with him, end up being my best friend, fighting, and ever since then we've just been cool as hell. And just watching that, seeing someone from the same time frame, same area, and he's the world champion. He's the world champion. I could see that helps my vision. Hey, I'm right there. I'm right there with the world champion. So
Awesome.
I think him for sure definitely keeps me motivated, highly motivated to see one of your best friends winning millions of dollars fighting.
Absolutely.
You can do the same exact thing. So him for sure definitely tops my list of people I hold high and dear to my heart through fighting.
Awesome.
Nice.
Now, UFC coming back to Denver.
I know. Hopefully, I win this fight and get us on the card. That's what I told my manager. I said, "Hey, quick turnaround. We need somebody on that fight card. Just let me know after I whoop some ass on the 22nd. Let's get me on that July 13th card."
Yeah.
I've never even been to a UFC event either, so I might even go. I might go check it out. I've never been to a UFC event. It'd be dope to go check out, but it'd be dope to even, that's my UFC debut. Fought in Denver 2 weeks before that, and then go back and fight again in Denver at Ball Arena. That'd be really sick. Be great for my book.
Oh yeah, we're excited for that as well. We're gonna attend that as
Yeah,
well.
looks like it's gonna be a good fight card. Actually, one of my buddies from New Mexico, Gilbert Urbina, will be fighting on that. He fought.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Ultimate Fighter. He was on Ultimate Fighter not this season, 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, maybe. Yeah, I just trained with him out in Vegas too. He has this dope weed sponsor. I was out there for 420, and he had this dope ass car event out there in Vegas. It was sick.
Oh,
Go out there
nice.
and check him out, hang out with him, train with him. His brother also trains. His older brother's training too, so it's like they have a nice little family. His older brother, his oldest brother was on the Ultimate Fighter. His older brother, that's older than him, but younger than the oldest one, Ultimate Fighter, and him, all three brothers been on Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, how fun. That is so cool.
And his oldest brother was in the UFC for a while. His other brother's trying to make his way back. We're me and him at the same age. He's like a year older than me. But he's trying to get back to the UFC too. He's good. Elias Serbian, he's a good ass fighter. Middleweight, I believe. Should be in the UFC soon too. So
Is this something you see for your son? Because I'm telling you guys right now, he is one adorable kid.
Yeah.
now we're gonna put him in modeling. Keep his face nice and clean. And yeah, I'm definitely about to put him in wrestling. He's about to start wrestling. He turns 4 July 10th. I told her mom, everyone after he turns 4, just gonna take him to practice, I think, for the first until he wants to jump in. We're just gonna take him, have him around it, let him be around the wrestling, let him be around the environment.
Yeah.
Not pushing too hard, not like make him try to practice, do nothing like that. Just let him watch it, let him get a feel for the mats, put him in some wrestling shoes, and we'll go from there. Yeah, start him off in wrestling. Just the way I started off. Let him play a bunch of different sports, you know. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep him from getting his head hit. I don't like boxing for kids. I don't like that. Just getting hit in your brain before it's developed.
How does he do at your fights?
He loves the fights. He loves the fights. And now he's starting to understand more, right? So now, like, I have all my posters in my room, and he's always like, "Daddy, the champion! It's a champion!" He'll put on his gloves. He's been doing this all week. He'll wake up and put on the fighting gloves. And he'll be like, "Daddy, I'm the champion. I'm the champion." I'm like, "Hell yeah, you're the champion, baby. You're the champion." He's funny. He's cute. He's always wants to fight.
Oh my goodness. He is so adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves going to the face. I can't wait to go to Daddy's fights. He's starting to learn. He's starting to understand more. Like,
Oh, awesome.
cheer and stuff. I took him to some fights not too long ago. He had a good time. My cousin's nephew was fighting Battle MMA. Battle MMA, the local fight card they got here is at the Penrose Center.
Mhm.
I took him to that. He had a good time.
Nice. Well, we are very excited to see that and to watch you win and then continue on this journey to the UFC. As always, it's great talking with you, having you on.
Definitely appreciate you guys. Always definitely.
And with this upcoming fight, if anybody would like to attend, where would they go for tickets?
Oh, if you want to attend this fight, go to I forget the ticket place. It's on my Facebook. I know that. The reason why I haven't been pushing tickets this fight is because I don't have any physical tickets. Usually I have physical tickets and I push it. I want to sell. So I like making my extra money off the ticket sales. With this fight, they didn't do it for physical tickets. You know how everyone's doing it now. They got our damn ticket fees and stuff like that. So that kind of sucks. Because usually, they give me general admission $45. Give me $45, I give you a ticket. You're not gonna pay no extra shit. Now it's like $12 extra per ticket. Where's that fee money going to? That should be going to my pocket.
Really?
Right. So
Oh,
people
okay.
can find you on Facebook then, right?
You can find me on Facebook, AJ the Champ Robb. I totally forget what the ticket link was. Like LFAtix.com maybe, or Magnus Arena tickets, something like that. You can get tickets, and also it'll be on UFC Fight Pass. So if you don't want to go to the fight, it's too expensive, or you just don't feel like getting out there, check it out on UFC Fight Pass. It'll be live, main card. I'll probably be the third to last fight, something like that. It's only $10. $10. It's free first month. You can just watch the fight for free, cancel your subscription, don't have to pay you $10. If you want, it's only $10 for UFC Fight Pass. Watch it on TV or come to the fight, Magnus Arena. Go to magnusarena.com maybe, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And LFA also has an LFA
LFA.
170. I believe has it. You can go get tickets there as well.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, it says buy tickets.
It says buy ticket. There's a link. If you go to my Facebook and you look at the picture,
Yes.
there's a link.
Yeah, there you go. So get out there. I think it's so important to support things,
That's
you know.
I have a good support system. So I usually have a nice little crowd on my
Yeah.
fight, so it'll be fun. Be fun, especially during the summer. When I have a summer fight, every time I have a summer fight, we usually get a nice little crowd out there. So hopefully we get, 50, 60 people out there having a good time. And when everyone gets to get out drunk and watch people fight. And yeah, that's all fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a good night of fights.
Yeah, because those winter ones, whew, that was a little rough.
I think ones that now are not for they're not too fun.
So anyway, you guys check him out, AJ the Champ Robb on Facebook. And if you go to his link, you can find the place to get some tickets. And there's tickets still out there. Get them, go support it. And then you'll get to see him while he's doing this. And then you'll say, hey, I would have watched him before he was in UFC.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can always find us on.
Go to our website at twogirlsinapod.com. You can also listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We also have Adventures of Two Girls in a Pod Life's Journey on YouTube. And you can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're there.
And remember, follow, like, subscribe, all of those things that are so important to anybody who's doing this social media stuff. And as always, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week. Hope you all have a great week. Bye.